On the 23rd of April 2020, a truck driver under the influence of drugs, Mohinder Singh, crashed his truck into a Porsche 911 and two police cars on the Eastern Freeway, in the city of Melbourne, killing 4 police officers who were on routine highway patrol. Prior to the incident, the officers had pulled over the Porsche driver, Richard Pusey, for speeding. After the truck plowed into the officers, Pusey filmed them for several minutes with vulgar commentary as they lay dying, before fleeing. The crash was the biggest loss of police lives in a single incident in Victoria Police's history. Justice Paul Coughlin stated that the crash had shocked the public conscience. Incident Victoria Police Commissioner Graham Ashton stated that 2 officers stopped a Porsche 911 that had been traveling at 140 km per hour around 5 p.m. on the 23rd of April, on a Wednesday afternoon. The 2 police officers drug tested the 41-year-old male driver, Richard Pusey. When he tested positive for drugs, the officers decided to impound his vehicle and called 2 further officers to the scene. Just after they arrived, a refrigerated truck plowed into the 4 officers. Pusey was not hit as he was urinating at the side of the road. He filmed the dying officers whilst giving an expletive-laden commentary. CCTV footage showed the truck straddling and drifting across lanes on the freeway 10 minutes before the incident. Ashton said, "The truck itself appears to have moved from one of the traffic lanes in the freeway into the emergency lane and has traveled a short distance in the emergency lane at around about 100 km per hour and slammed into the rear of the highway patrol vehicle." Constable Lynette Taylor, 60, Senior Constable Kevin King, 50, and Constables Glenn Humphris, 32, and Josh Prestney, 28, perished at the scene. Overview: Mohinder Singh, 48, was sleep-deprived and high on drugs when he crashed his 19-ton semi-trailer into the officers who had pulled over Porsche driver Richard Pusey. Data showed that Singh did not try to brake until it was too late. Singh was using and trafficking drugs before the crash occurred. He had been speaking nonsense about being chased by witches on the day of the crash and was seeing stick figures and suffering from delusions. He was seen wailing at the crash scene and had a medical episode, and was taken to hospital under police guard. The court was told that Singh had slept for only 5 hours in the 72 hours before the incident, but felt obliged to continue his work. Older court hearings heard that Singh suffers from anxiety and depression. Lawyer Stephen Pica said Singh was distressed and saddened at his actions. Singh pleaded guilty in Victoria's Supreme Court to 4 counts of culpable driving causing death, and 6 other charges including trafficking drugs including methamphetamine and cannabis, possessing drugs, and dealing with proceeds of crime. He was sentenced on the 14th of April 2021 to at least 22 years in prison with a non-parole period of 18 years and 6 months. Richard Pusey. Richard Pusey, 42, a former mortgage broker, was pulled over by Senior Constable Lynette Taylor and First Constable Glenn Humphris for speeding at 149 km per hour. An oral drug test on Pusey confirmed he had MDMA and cannabis in his system, and the officers called for backup to impound his car. Senior Constable Kevin King and Constable Joshua Prestney arrived half an hour later. About a minute after their arrival, the 4 were standing in the emergency lane while Pusey urinated off the side of the road when Singh's truck struck them. Pusey was not hit and used his mobile phone to film the scene, zooming in on the injured officers, saying, "That is fucking justice, that is fucking amazing," as they lay dying on the ground. He said, "All I wanted was to go home and have my sushi, and now you've fucked my fucking car." Pusey continued vulgar commentary while filming for more than 3 minutes before fleeing on foot and sharing the video on Facebook. He was charged with 2 counts of perverting the course of justice, driving at a dangerous speed, reckless conduct endangering life, destruction of evidence, and not providing assistance after an incident. Pusey was jailed for 10 months. In November 2021, Pusey attached graphic photos of the dying police officers to a complaint he sent to the Australian Financial Complaints Authority. He was charged and found guilty of using a carriage service to cause offence, for which he was sentenced to a further 10 months in jail. Truck company. After an 18-month investigation, the truck company Connect Logistics were charged with Category 1 and 2 offences under heavy vehicle national law. The 2 owners of the company appeared in Parramatta Court on September 28, 2021. Category 1 offenses have a maximum penalty of $300,000 and 5 years jail for an individual and $3 million for a corporation. Category 2 offenses carry a maximum penalty of $150,000 for an individual and $1.5 million for a corporation. Singh's boss, Simeona Tuteru, was charged with more than 70 offenses in relation to the fatal incident. The police allege that Tuteru should have not allowed Singh to drive on the day of the accident due to his fatigue. Compliance operations after the incident resulted in several vehicles' fleet being issued with infringements, and 2 heavy vehicles with major defects. In October 2022, prosecutors dropped manslaughter accusations against trucking boss Simeona Tuteru, who was charged with 4 counts of manslaughter. Rather, he faced 4 heavy vehicle charges. Tributes on the day after the crash, Victoria Police, including the staff department, gathered at the Victoria Police Academy on the site's parade ground to pay tribute to the deceased officers, with a minute's silence. Flowers were also placed at the Boroondara Police Station, which is proximate to the crash site. In a news conferences, Australian Prime Minister Scott Morrison thanked Victoria Police, whilst uttering his condolences. Melbourne's Mayor, Sally Capp, organised for the flags to be raised at half-mast, and as well as the Melbourne Town Hall to display in blue as a gesture of respect. Police forces from the country and as well as those overseas paid tribute to the victims.